the isolated vegetated wetlands that's on the abutting property. This is Zula property, which is the horse farm. And the first green line is the 25-foot no disturb for that wetland area. And then after that is the vernal pool. You can see it outlined in the topography around it. And then he shows a variety of lines. The second green line is the 25-foot no disturb from approximate location from the vernal pool. The next line, which is that red line, is the 100-foot from the isolated vegetated wetlands that it's on to Zula's property. And then the blue line represents approximately 50 feet out from the vernal pool. And then the final red line is the 100-foot from the vernal pool. So as you can see, it has a pretty significant impact on the rear property. There hasn't been much engineering done, but there's been some early preliminary sketch plans done by a couple of different engineers over a period of time. And what the intent was, on the front of the O'Neill's property, the zoning is C-zone, which allows for lots with 75 feet of frontage and 7,500 square feet of land requirement. And the rear of the property, you can see the line that kind of cuts right through there. That turns into a B zone, which requires 20,000 square foot lots with 100 feet of frontage. So the way it lays out with the neighbor's property is you end up with 3 lots on each side of the roadway that are in C zone, which is 7,500 square feet, and that's 6 lots, and then there'll be 2 additional at the end of the cul-de-sac, which would be 20,000 square foot minimum. And then there's the parcel that remains out in the rear that doesn't have any access through the roadway. So as you can see on lot 5, we did a rough building envelope for that lot, and the 100-foot no disturb for the vernal pool cuts through the middle of the building envelope. And I've had some discussions with Rich Kirby and some other wetland scientists and about the idea of maybe being granted some relief in the 50 to 100 to allow for a house to be placed partially in that area. And in return, the developer would improve the buffer area by removing invasive species, improving the soil conditions, and maybe planting native species in that area. Obviously, to make any kind of final decision, I'm sure you'd require a very detailed plan and landscape plan, which we haven't really had a chance to do any of that work yet. But I guess tonight, it's just I'm trying to look for some guidance if you consider some relief from the 100-foot, and if you would, what you would require us to submit to make that decision.
Well, I guess my first response is that it's not within our charter to issue advisory opinions. If we had a notice of intent before us, we would respond.
Sure.
And I mean, you've been before us enough that you probably know that there are some strict constructionists here, and there are some less strict constructionists here.
Sure.
So to some extent, I mean, the bylaw itself provides for a possible waiver, which we just discussed with Mr. Mullen, so that it's certainly possible under the bylaw to for us to grant relief. But I think, again, you've been before us enough that we tend not to, although not with respect to vernal pools, but we try to be as consistent and uniform in applying the 25-foot zone. I mean, I'm not going to tell you we haven't had exemptions. In fact, we're going to see one on Saturday to see whether or not somebody can put a back porch up at 395.
Sure.
You know, that's one. So it's been done. I have no idea what's going to happen Saturday. But I can remember in the past doing it. But it's usually a very small intrusion. And that's with respect to the general application and not the vernal pool. I know the vernal pool was an issue that we became involved in 5 years ago, maybe, up at on Woodland Road. with the African Mission Society property?
Oh, yes, yes.
That's right next to Stonebridge Lane?
Yes.
And that went to the Superior Court, and that was sort of it's kind of a telltale as to who the strict constructionists were and who the other ones,
When it comes
who
to
the others
vernal
were.
pools,
When it
yes.
comes to vernal pools. So, and there is a heightened sensitivity.
Chair,
Yes,
I was not on the board.
that's true. So which one are you, a strict constructionist or
I was not on
a liberal?
Liberal. Well, I guess we all know where you lean.
Was the Woodland Road in a wetland area, or was it in an upland area?
Well, the house is on wetland, but the issue was it was at 100 feet away or not. But there was actually an additional, and that was whether or not there would be an impact that went beyond the 100 feet.
Because it seems.
And the Superior Court, basically issued a ruling that said, no, it's 100 feet, period. So we do have some history of, using that 100-foot mark and applying it strictly.
Sure.
But I don't want to foreclose somebody coming in, because under the bylaw, you can make that argument, and we would actually have to have two votes. One as to whether or not there should be a grant, and you've correctly cited the language that the burden is upon the applicant to show that there be no significant adverse impact on the interests that we protect. And in this case, the vernal pool does have a lot of definition. And we were just talking about it with the last applicant about Matt Byrne, who gives a seminar. And part of that seminar at the Mass Association of Conservation Commissioners, he actually has got like a map, and he shows us, the radius of how far salamanders walk, and it's pretty interesting stuff. But that's why there is a heightened degree of protection for vernal pools, because of the amphibians that breed there.
Right.
So I know I'm kind of kicking around.
Yeah, Bob Hannigan actually attended that today, so.
I did, yeah. That's pretty interesting.
But Mr. Sullivan, you're looking for this relief so that the developer can get 8 houses in here. this
Just so,
lot.
possibly you
saying?
could fit a house on lot 5 anyways, but to have
So you said he could?
it's possible. We just started really looking at the plans. This is more of a sketch plan.
Well, is that true for Lot 9, too? I know there's a right-of-way at the back. I don't know who has access to the right-of-way.
It hasn't actually been defined yet. It's still being researched, who has it. It actually has, yes, access to the right-of-way and potentially some access to the old landfill road, too.
Yeah.
But it looks as though, and I know this is preliminary, it looks as though you're asking for this relief so you can get this many houses on the site. And in the absence of relief, you could still build, but maybe not build as many houses.
Might have a price implication.
Well, it's not just that. It's actually, there's a potential to put a house on this lot, but the rear of the property would be the existing condition, and there'd be no landscaping at all for the rear of the property. So it's not an ideal situation, no. So I wasn't sure if landscaping, improving the existing conditions up there was something that's, the
Well, I don't
commission would
think-
find worthwhile to allow, some.
I don't think landscaping would help the critters. And I think the vernal pool interest is different from landscaping. It's really migration paths and the ability for the amphibians to come and go and their breeding process.
Would they typically travel in upland routes or on wetland routes?
All directions.
It does, but ask Bob, because if he went to the
Yeah.
seminar today, and I think it does. And they actually have maps, and they show how many acres, and some of them are pretty expansive, which I know would send shivers down your spine, because, depending on if you're a real salamander lover, it could be pretty broad in terms of how far they travel.
Yep. I don't remember when Matt Burns did the site visit up at there. I know he found fairy shrimp, but I don't remember that he found
Salamanders?
I mean, it could change from year to year, I suppose, but I think that's all he found.
Yeah, there are a number of different critters. I don't know what they're called. But fairy shrimp is one of them.
So how does fairy shrimp get into the water and travel? Does anybody know?
Not a clue. Oh, and I get your point, that fairy shrimp aren't going to be,
Yeah, I mean, if it was
crawling
just
up.
fairy shrimp there and it wasn't amphibious, I didn't know if that makes a difference or not. And
Good question. I don't have an
I
answer.
don't know.
because I don't think Matt Burns found it in the vernal pool salamanders, amphibious.
He was looking for egg masses, I think, at the time, but
Yeah, I don't
that's the
think he
same
found-
thing.
Yeah. He just found fairy shrimp, but I'm not familiar with fairy shrimp and how they,
Yeah, in the spring with 10 feet of snow, it could have other implications. I mean, we just don't know.
yeah.
There could be more water there, more opportunity, I don't know.
Or more washout.
Yeah,
Less
on the other
opportunity.
hand, yeah.
Sure enough.
But it actually, I was very surprised at how little flow there was in how much it melted.
It was
I
a
mean,
slow melt,
It
slow,
melt and
slow,
it seemed
yeah.
to just go into the ground
Yeah.
and supplement
Yeah.
and.
It was good.
We were very lucky.
We were
very
lucky in that
fortunate.
regard, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know if I've helped you or hurt you, or, and that's
No,
just
that's
my
been
my impression. You know, Mike, Arthur, Craig, Judith?
That's,
So maybe we should study the woodland case a little bit too, probably might be helpful.
so we just don't have that many vernal pools in Milton.
Right, that's why I'm
Yeah,
not
Yeah,
familiar
you-
with the
one of few.
situation.
I
If-
think we have 5, I think that's 6, yeah.
Certified.
Certified,
Right.
yes, that we know about.
Yeah, it'll be very difficult for you to study the Woodland case,
I mean,
because we had a split vote here, but you wouldn't know that, because when you see the denial, we all signed it, but it was a split vote.
okay.
So it will confuse you
Yeah,
as to who's on whose side.
just to see what the conversation was with the commission for that, just to get a better sense of it, but.
Yeah.
I know you weren't there, so.
He doesn't want to guilty by implication or
Right.
whatever.
So I guess the path to finding out is to file an NOI and see what response we get from that.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Either NOI or RDA.
No, the RDA is already done,
Done, yeah,
because it's already been,
determined.
delineated and certified. And you could do it again if you
did.
wanted. What's that?
They
Oh, it's-
did,
oh, I know, it's been done a bunch of times.
twice.
Yeah.
Okay, the last thing,
Speaking of snow, if I
Thank you.
may for a moment,
What's that?
I was at a New England Board of Higher Education event about 3 weeks ago, and Governor Baker was invited in to present an award. And of course, he had to comment upon the snow and the experience, and he said they engaged a climatologist and a statistician to work together to ascertain the likelihood of this occurring again, 9 feet of snow in 30 days. And they reported out ultimately from their findings saying it was a once in every 26,000 year event.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know about that.
Let's hope we can hold on to that.
I guess we don't worry about that happening.
All right.
Now, the additional business, did you see that Paul Molinari did send us a letter?
Yes.
Wait a minute, just so
I'm
we can
sorry,
finish this?
Paul.
Are
Yes,
you all
sir.
set?
I'm all set, thank you.
Okay, good. All right,
Okay,
thanks, Paul.
For your
Thank you,
time.
thanks.
Good night.
Good night.
Night, Craig.
But I thought this was very nice, and I think he
I
tried to
gotta
do a
keep
good
that.
job, and
Yes.
he's going to send us one more with the snow gone, so.
Yeah, June 1st.
I did get a
But
kick
the
out of
idea
that.
that he's paying attention,
Yeah.
just to get people, aware.
You'd be a good teacher, Jim.
Right. It was your idea, I think, wasn't it?
Yes,
Very good.
we'll do that again.
All right, so
Would it be-
any other business?
Yes,
So-
I submitted something to you from Milton Academy of repairing their fence.
You did.
Pictures are there that had snow damage, so they don't have to file an NOI if they.
No, they don't. I saw that fence.
Yeah, I'm okay that they can do it, just to
No
repair a
damage.
fence. They're not moving it.
No,
It's by the pool, it's on the Randolph Ave side, right where Gun Hill Street comes out, where this outdoor swimming pool is.
yeah.
There's a parking area there, and there's a fence, and it's within our jurisdiction, but it's just, it get knocked over by
Probably
the
the
snow.
plow, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So is it in the stack? I don't think so. I've been piling this stuff up.
So-
This is from Houghton's Pond, this is for the, I forgot the code, when they were going to remove the invasive species in the pond itself.
Yes, I do remember that, okay.
Okay, and you just have to sign. They just want to extend it now that the new law came in, that they can extend it 3 years.
They're getting rid of it using Roundup? What?
No, not round.
No, it's not, no, it was already.
Rodeo.
But now they have, and I'll probably give this to you.
Who said rodeo?
This is on Randolph Avenue.
Roundup?
This is where the house is. The
It's just
trees
the
in
width
front of
of
the
the
house
package,
is
Jenny.
split, and they're looking for if they can remove it.
Just been
Wait a minute now.
listed as a festival.
So if it,
Rodeo. I'm surprised.
that was in effect or existence during the period, so if you would go back to 2008, and under the old rule, it existed for 3 years. Like if they did a delineation, or if we approved something, they had 3 years to actually
This is to
do it?
get rid of the invasives using a chemical in the pond, right?
Correct.
And we okayed that about 2 years ago.
2012.
Right,
3 years.
I'm
Okay.
I'm questioning
Okay.
this act. The act grants an automatic 4-year extension to any approval or permit that was in effect or existence during the time period beginning on August 15th, 2008, and extending through August 15th, 2012, beyond its otherwise applicable expiration.
Okay, and was it within that time? Was it in 2012 before,
Yeah, it was,
say, August? Okay.
it was May.
It was May of,
But that doesn't sound like that.
So they don't need to submit because they've got another 4 years.
That's what they're saying.
That's what it just said.
Yeah.
they're entitled to an automatic extension? No action needs to be taken to extend this permit, as the expiration date is automatically valid until May 15th, 2019. Geez, that's a scary thing. They're kicking everything into the,
Yeah.
that's a long
Who
time.
did that?
I don't know. It says the order of conditions for
I think it's
Department of
the-
Conservation and Recreation is the applicant.
So they took it upon themselves to extend the permit?
No, DEP, I think, changed. it.
Massachusetts Permit Extension Act.
Yeah, I think it's a new rule.
Well, that's
But I
probably-
haven't, it's just a piece of paper to me. No, you emailed this?
Yes,
Right, but this is just a piece of paper
Yeah.
that somebody typed up.
yes.
That's not the law. I'd want to take a look at the law.
Okay.
Yeah, they can certainly remove the tree. It looks like it's dangerous. And they're going to replant
What are you talking about?
Yes.
right here. See this tree split this winter on Randolph Ave?
Is it a homeowner?
Yeah, homeowner.
Kathy, I'll take this and see
Okay.
if I can find what the law says.
Okay.
That sounds odd. That you've got 7 years to do something or to continue to do something? Well, you've got a 3-year
3 years,
permit
and then-
and there's a 4-year extension. Right?
Right, yeah.
That's what they say it says, but the law's not here.
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
like if they need it right away, we can address it on Saturday.
Okay.
I'll try to find out more about the law tomorrow. 'Cause I'm not familiar with it.
Can I ask a couple of questions, advisory questions?
Sure.
I need to repave my driveway. My driveway goes over a brook. It was previously approved by the Conservation Commission. But do I need to come to the Conservation Commission to repave my existing driveway?
I don't know. All in favor?
Doesn't follow the rules.
Wait a minute.
Are you a strict constructionist or not?
I am a strict constructionist.
Fine, I don't care, just tell me what to do.
To repave it. So you get all those petroleum products, and how close is it to the brook?
Goes over the brook. I got a culvert,
Over the brook.
my driveway.
Sidewalk.
Yeah.
File a notice.
You know what I think you should do, to be honest with you? Just to protect yourself and us, you should file an RDA. The RDA is quick and easy. I mean, I don't see an issue. I mean, the driveway exists.
But then you have
But
to
you'd have to have-
recuse yourself from deliberation.
Right.
And you have to be nice to all of us.
In order to.
How does it feel to be over a barrel?
Doesn't make a difference to me.
Oh, it does. No, I think in order to avoid the
And clearly
appearance
it's
of
split and it is
impropriety,
dangerous.
I think that would be a
But
good
we should
idea.
replace
So I'll
it.
just file
Do
it
you want me to call
ID
them?
everything in
No, I
one.
can call them.
So
Call them
we-
and tell them, you know, I
we
can
done?
see it's a little complicated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kathy, anything else?
Replace it with is,
We're done.
you know,
Kathy,
one
that's it?
tree,
Woohoo, it's not midnight yet.
one, because it's, just tell them tree, but
Move
they
to
should
close
put
the
some
meeting?
shrubs.
Yeah,
Sorry,
second.
Didn't mean to take that.
All in
So
favor?
one
Aye.
tree,
Aye.
a native,